If I have to go outside of myself or outside of what I believe to feel included, maybe I just don't need to be included. What you feel is real. There is so much power in knowing who you are in God. And knowing who you are in God comes from spending time with Him and building and establishing that relationship with Him. I will preach, y'all. I will really preach. Guys, welcome to my channel. Is it giving? Y'all look cute. So today's video is going to be a very transparent video. In this video, I will be giving 3 reasons as to why I decided to follow God and am still pursuing my relationship with Him. I just want to put a little disclaimer out there. The reasons that I'm giving are not in order. And although I'm giving 3 reasons why I decided to follow Him, they aren't the only reasons why I decided to follow them. There are just the 3 reasons that I feel most comfortable to share and that may encourage someone else. So without further ado, let's get into this video. First reason why I gave my life to God was because I felt called to. At a young age, I never felt normal. I never felt like I fit in. I would deal with things in my mind that wasn't normal for like the age I was in. Maybe when I was maybe in like 5th grade. Like, I've always felt called to God. I always felt like I just didn't fit in, even in high school and middle school. Like, I had friends, you know, I had a friend group, but even with them, like, it would be times where I would fit in, but the only time I ever felt like I truly fit in with them is when I would compromise. Like, every single time I went against myself and what my inner man was telling me to do is when I would fit in. And at that point, you know, I just started to gain a sense of self and know that, like, if I have to go outside of myself or outside of what I believe to feel included, maybe I just don't need to be included. You feel what I'm saying? And it was definitely hard because when you're young, you want that sense of community. You want friends, you know, especially when you're in school. Community is vital, okay? Especially in your childhood when you're growing up, like, you want those people around you. But yeah, like, I just didn't fit in. Also was kind of different than the other kids. Like, I genuinely like going to church. A lot of my friends were like going to parties and like doing stuff like that, which, you know, when you're young, those are the type of things that you do. And I also did go to parties trying to fit in. But like I said, like, I just always felt out of place. I was more interested in stuff like that, going to church. I would love to stay with my grandma on the weekend because I knew that every time I stayed at my grandma's house, I got to go to church. I would say to anybody that feels like they don't fit in, I was one of those people. I go hang with the nerds, I don't fit in. I go hang with the baddies, I don't fit in. I go hang with the girls, I don't fit in. I go hang with the, like, it's just like you just don't belong. It's just like no matter where you go, what you're doing, who you're around, you just feel called to something so much greater. And it's not that you feel like you're better than anybody else. It's not that you feel like you're higher or more mighty than anybody else. You just have a different grace. If you haven't experienced it, then you might not know what I'm talking about. But for the ones who have experienced, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's a completely different feeling. When I was in middle school, I definitely compromised a lot. Like, I compromised a lot. I wanted to keep my friends. I wanted to date the boys. I wanted to date just little childish, petty, kiddie stuff. But I can say that, like, in the summer transitioning from, like, I think it was 9th to 10th grade, I kind of like cut all my friends off and like stayed off of social media. And so my friends were like, where have you been, girl? Like, it's the summertime, we don't got school, we don't see you, we haven't talked to you, you're off of social media, we have no way to get up in contact with you. But I really felt like God was trying to just make me new. What you feel is real. You don't feel like you fit in because you don't. You don't feel like you're called to these people because you're not. You're different. Like, and it was a humbling experience, to say the least. Like, I definitely thank God that He chose me. I'm thankful that I'm His chosen nation. Like, I really thank Him, His royal priesthood. I will preach, y'all. I will really preach. I'm not gonna preach, y'all. So yeah, like that summer I had separated myself from them, and I just felt peace like never before in my life. Like I just felt so wholesome, so peaceful. And then just being off social media itself just gave me so much mental clarity, being able to just get my mind right before going into the next school year and stuff like that. And then kind of after that is when like we kind of separated, or we dwindled. I still love them to this day, like every last one of them. We all have grown up, started our own families, ventured out, started business, establishing our careers and stuff. So I'm super proud of all of us, and we just are not called to the same thing, and I just had to accept that. The second reason why I decided to pursue my relationship with God was because of a traumatic experience that I had a few years ago. I'm not really going to go in depth because that's my business. To say the least, this traumatic experience that I went through caused me to undergo like major depression. And I never knew what depression felt like. I never felt sad, never felt anything. Like I didn't know any of those feelings. Like I was a very happy little girl. So when I started to experience this, I was like, wait, like this is totally different from what I'm used to. I don't like what I'm feeling. After so long of trying to like run from it because I didn't like the way it felt, I decided for a change. Like I've been trying to run from this depression. It's not working. It's taunting me. Like every day I wake up with a heavy heart. Every day I wake up with a mind full of stuff. Like I can't even give my day a chance to start before it just already feels ruined because my mind is just so overwhelmed. And after so much of trying to run from the depression, I decided to embrace it and change my mindset. And I embraced it, and I was like, God, what do you want to do through this for me? Or what do you want to do for me through this? Like, I'm tired of running. I'm tired of trying to figure out why I'm going through something. If I'm trying to get out of it and it's not working and it's still here and it's persistent, there's something you're trying to do in me. And I can say that I thank God so much for that depression. Like, and that sounds so weird to say, but I thank God so much that He allowed me to get so low to the point where the only place I could go to is on my knees. I never in my life heard God so clear. Being able to hear Him, being able to commune with Him, being able to speak with Him, being able to talk to Him and build my relationship with Him. Like, that depression did me well. And honestly, it didn't feel good when I was going through it, but it was for my good and for His glory. And I am so grateful that I was able to experience. It was great that I was afflicted. I really I sought God like never before in my life when I was depressed. And God just, He helped me get through it. He helped me get through it and break the curse. So now if I know somebody who's going through depression, or one of my descendants end up going through depression, I can teach them how to break the curse instead of allowing the curse to break them, or them like unaliving themselves. I just thank God. My third reason why I decided to get closer to God and pursue my relationship with Him is currently where I am. Like, just growing my relationship with Him, period. That's the reason. As I've grown my relationship with Him, as I've got stronger in Him, I've learned to know Him for who He is, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of times we correlate who God is with what He does. And if you just take away all that He does and just focus on Him, just Him and Himself, Yahweh, focus on His character, His love, His compassion, His grace, His mercy. Like, just look at the attributes of who He is. And that really, really caused me to grow and makes me just want Him even more. Makes my soul and my spirit so hungry and so thirsty for Him, because it's like, you really love me. Like, you really left the 99 to come see about me. I love you. Like, I love you so much. I had to step out of what I always knew. Step out of trying to know God because my grandma knew God, or know God because that's pushed on me, or that's the right thing, or family doesn't like all that. Okay. But when I made up in my mind to seek God for myself, to establish my own relationship with him, to know him outside of the four walls of the church. I think that's a major key right there. Like, a lot of people know God in church, but God is in me. I am a living temple. God lives inside of me. God walks with me, he talks with me, he eats with me, he sleeps with me, he showers with me. God is with me. And when you know that, it's like a reward in itself. Because when you know that God lives inside of you, you don't play about you no more. Like, it's certain stuff I'm not going to do because I'm not going to defile his temple. It's certain stuff I'm not going to say because I'm not going to defile his temple. It's certain places I'm not going to go because I'm not going to defile his temple. Certain people I will not be around because I will not defile his temple. Not only will it allow you to know who you are to him and to know to stop playing with yourself, but it's going to cause you to know the authority in which he's graced you in. The Holy Spirit that he has placed on the inside of you. When you know the Holy Spirit and you really, really know, you can speak things. You can prophesy to yourself, to your situation, to your circumstance. Like, there is so much power in knowing who you are in God. And knowing who you are in God comes from spending time with him and building and establishing that relationship with him. It's not a perfect journey, but I'm glad that God has broke the chains of legalism off of my mind. I just want him to be proud of me. And I just want to hear well done. But that's the end of this video. I hope that this encouraged you guys. If y'all have any comments or y'all want to discuss, you know, what brought y'all closer to God, or just comment on some of the ideas that I gave as to why I'm pursuing my relationship with God, just be sure to comment them and I will get back to y'all. I pray that this video has touched and reached the people in whom God has desired, and I will see y'all in my next video.